Lights, camera, action. Hi everybody, want to say hello?
Hello.
Hi everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Olamide, and if you're seeing me for the very first time, this is me, this is I, laminating Lam, and welcome back to
you give
the
yourself
channel.
lam.
See, I don't know, you gotta ask my friends, and I'm sure they're watching. Welcome back to Chill with Lami. In today's video, we're going to be talking about how we both got our jobs in the UK. And now I got my job in 2 hours because I know that that's why you're here. The thumbnail or the title probably drew you here. So welcome, and it's not a clickbait, it's actually the truth. So we're just going to let you know the things that we did, to get our jobs. I did not say dream job.
Yes, please. That's a disclaimer.
Exactly. Yeah.
Like these are just things that we did and we were continuing to do. Like these are things we did to get our first jobs in the UK as international students.
Yeah, and they're not just any, they're actually good.
They're good jobs. Yeah,
actually.
good companies.
So yeah, we've already got. Anyway. Before we start, you're going to please, if you've not liked, shared, subscribe, all of those good things, please do it right now. Please just
click the like
button, subscribe, and do all of those fun stuff before we deep dive into all this.
We're going to be sharing a lot of good content, so please support us.
Okay, so this is my friend, my sister. Introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Lamide's husband.
No.
Hi everyone.
My husband is behind the camera.
Hi everyone, my name is Joy. I'm an immigrant here in the UK.
No, Debbie.
Okay. I work as a product manager. Currently, my title is product owner. I work as a product manager in tech. I have about 3 years of experience. I started my career while I was in Nigeria, and then I came over for my master's at the London School of Economics on management of information systems. Hype me. Yeah, so I just finished my master's in September. However, I got a job as a product owner here in London, and I resumed before I finished my master's. I resumed last week of July, and yeah.
Give it up for DMJ, as you may know. Please follow her on all our socials. I'll probably put it on the screen and link it in the description box as well. The reason why we're doing this video, for context, if you didn't watch my last video, please go and watch it. I'm going to link it up here. I did talk about I think bringing on someone that would that we would both talk about something that would be very useful to students that are just joining, or people that have probably been here for a while. So if you've not watched it, please go and watch it so that you get more context. So we're going to just dive into this so that we don't waste too much time. So we're going to talk about how we both got our jobs, and how I got my own job in 2 hours, and how she got a job
in 2 hours. Guys, do you hear that? 2 hours.
Yeah, so I'm just going to start asking you this question. So what did you do, or what were the things that you did that led you to your current role?
All right. I think first I would say know what you want. Right. I think that's, like, I always tell anyone, when you if you're pouring into 10 cups, you might just get like a drop in each of those cups. But if you pour everything into a single cup, you get, of course, as we all know, a substantial amount in that single cup. So I think the first thing I would say is know what you want, because that would enable you to focus all your efforts, your drive, and your energy into getting what you want. So as an international student, while on campus, while in school, you hear so many things. I mean, so many routes are opened up to you, right? You can go through it, and if you went to, at my uni, a lot of my classmates were considering so many options. You could go through the consultant. Some of them were interviewing with McKinsey. You could go through the investment banking route. There is also the big tech routes. There's the startup routes. There are different routes, different careers open up to you when you're here, right? So it's very important that you know what you want.
So are you saying that from the very first day you stepped into the UK? Because I'm not, okay, I don't want to sound mean or anything. I just want to say, because I know that once people come here, the first thing they do is, I want to start applying for a job. And what kind of job? Because, people come here, you come to school, but you also come to make money. You get distracted by, I want to do care, I want to do DPD, I want all of those things. So are you trying to say that, okay, in all of that, you should still know, like, don't be swayed, you should know what you want? Because I feel like that's one thing, people get carried away doing all of those things. I'm not saying that you shouldn't do
it's one thing if you know you are doing something just for the money, right? Okay, I just need like £50 here, I need £20 here, and then you're picking up those jobs for that. That's fine. Different people come, some people need to actually start working, get on working to like make the money to stay here, right? That's quite alright. But I'm saying career wise, like you need to know what you want. Like you need to know, okay, I'm doing this job, I'm doing this care job, but those are just by the way. This is what I want for my career. And this is what I'm going to focus on for my career.
So after you like already figured out, okay, this is what I want.
And that doesn't mean it's not going to come immediately. It's not going to come immediately. You're going to like feel like you're lost. You're going to feel like, oh, people are doing so many things and you don't know what to do. I think you should just give yourself, like when you just arrive, first thing is just give yourself time to chill. Give yourself time to observe the environment, right? It will come to you. Like, there's a reason why you're doing whatever course it is that you're doing anyways. So what you focus on will come to you, right? So when you figure out what you want, I think the next stage is, okay, now you have a couple of companies that I do this thing where I usually recommend to people where you do an Excel sheet.
So guys, we have different approaches on how we do this whole job search thing. So she's going to share our own whatever that works for her, and I'll share like what I did that also works for me. I'm not saying that we cannot like get ideas of each other, but this is what she did. So you drafted Excel sheet.
No, I did not, but I typically recommend it to people because I'm not the best planner, right? But I typically recommend it to people if you're a planning type, like to help to know, okay, these are the kind of, or even if you don't need to do an Excel, so just know that these are the kind of companies you want to apply for. Now you have a company you want, you want to get into this company, right? The next thing is for you to know what the company does. Like I see people attend interviews and they don't understand, they don't know what the company is doing. So before you deep dive into the interview, we're still going to talk about interview prep. It might not be in this video, it might be in the next video. We're going to talk about like how to prep for interviews and all those things. So prep for interview. Right, so prep for the interview, like understand what the company company does, and then even personally, like it's not just an interview, it's also like you want something from the company, right? So what is it about the company that you are interested in? Generally, when I was applying for jobs, I think the second thing, when you start to know the company you want, right, I would try as much as I can to get an insider in the company. Like when I'm applying for jobs, I would literally go and look at LinkedIn for people in that company, in that region, who are possibly doing the same role, and then I'll connect with them on LinkedIn. For instance, I remember the interviews I did, I would literally be naming names, like, oh, how do you know this person? Like, I just know, like, I've been following your company. I might literally just have heard about the company like a week ago, but because I've done all those following that, it sounds like I've been following, I've known about the company for the past year. To be very honest, all the interviews I got here in London, right, were through referrals, right? I never applied directly for a role.
Because she doesn't like to apply.
No, I do apply, but those ones never come. Oh my god, you're going to face so many rejections. Like
you get like nothing less than 500. Like,
you will get so many rejections, but don't let that deter you. But I do strongly believe that you get an advantage when you come in through referrals, which is true. I mean, I'm working now and we're recruiting, and I know if anyone comes into referral, they'll be considered first, right? So I always try to get someone in the company. So the top interviews I did, right, were through referrals. So I would get someone in the company to refer me. Of course, this doesn't mean you wouldn't go through the interview process, but that just gives you a leg up. So like I said, first thing, you know what you want. The second thing is understand what the company is doing, how your own experience is tailored to what they do. Another point is try and get someone on the inside, if you can, to refer you, right?
So our own step is shorter. Me, I like Sofia. It's our own step, and it actually works for her.
But then,
most of the leads like converted, and like you got interviews.
Right.
So I'm just going to briefly, so that this video is not too long.
I should also mention, right? This is not. It's not cast in stone, right? These steps vary depending on the company, depending on what you want from the company, right? It varies. I mean, there's so many times I would have to like send. I know we still said we're going to do another call on networking, but there's times when I would have to go on LinkedIn. Like I had like a template already, and my template was.
We'll still do a deep dive.
I would have to go into LinkedIn and then follow up with people. And so it's not like the referrals will just come like that, right? But
okay, that's good. So know what you want, know the company, look for referrals, look for insiders, and like do your homework. That's Joy's recipe for getting that job. My own was, I'm just going to like quickly immediately I got to the UK, I started applying and I put so much pressure on myself, and probably I shouldn't have, but in retrospect I got a hang of what they really wanted quickly, right? So it's either way you want to look at it, to be honest. I put pressure on myself, but on the other side I knew like I was getting rejections, and I was changing things often, so it made me know like what they wanted and all of those things. So immediately I got here, I started applying, and then what I also did was that on my CV I looked at job descriptions of the roles that I was applying for and optimized it in my CV. I don't know if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, so I'll go to job description, I'll go and look for all the things they are looking for, and I'll put my CV.
That's so good. Before you go on the CV aspect, that's so important. Like I can't emphasize doing that enough. Just look for the keywords, because one thing that you would know when you get into the UK is they use this ATS tools to first filter. So one of the things those tools are looking for are the keywords that you have in your CV, right? And I don't know if your school also has this. So most schools have this career.
I was going to talk about it.
So you can book a session with a career coach in your uni that's tailored to your department and have them look through your CV. At my uni as well, we also had like an AI tool called Career Sets, if I remember correctly, that would go through your CV and then rate it. And to the UK standard, right? Because there are different ways of writing CVs across different countries of the world.
We also use the same platform to do our
Resume.io, right? I use Resume.io. This is not an ad. I use Resume.io we use Resume.io to write our CVs, and then you put it in through your uni's platform, and it rates it and tells you, okay, this is one word you can improve. This is where you can improve to like get an edge.
That's good. So that's optimizing your CV, also optimizing your own LinkedIn. Like you might not be the most active person. She practically pushed me to write my first LinkedIn post that, like, if you go through my LinkedIn,
best in friendship.
Like it made so much. The title of that post was "Do It Afraid," and it made so much waves. But that's not the point of the whole thing. It's just basically like optimizing your LinkedIn, like put what you've done and all of it, like optimize it, include like keywords, all of those things in your. Because it's also like your online CV because I mean, if people you don't always have to send your CV before someone reaches out to you, right? People will first check your LinkedIn, and if it's not making sense, they will not reach out to you. Do you understand? So you want to optimize it as well.
I mean, there are also even easy apply jobs on LinkedIn. I know you're going to talk about that maybe, but
easy apply,
don't apply. So once your LinkedIn is optimized, it's literally so easy. Just apply, and people get good jobs from easy apply.
I got my job from LinkedIn. Actually.
People get good from LinkedIn. There's so many things you can talk about. I mean, prior to getting my job, I've gotten, because of how optimized my LinkedIn was, I've gotten I have so many recruiters who reach out to me. I mean, I think there was a time I posted it on Twitter about this big 4 company a recruiter that reached out to me. I have recruiters who reach out to me on LinkedIn and tell me, this is the job, this is the pay. And then the only deterrent I had then was because they needed someone to resume immediately, right? And I was still like in a full-time master's degree. But I had so many recruiters reach out to me, and it's not like they know me from Adam. It's because of my LinkedIn.
That's good. So another thing that I did was utilize my school's like career service. So we had the same thing that she said. We had like a career site that will help you like boost your CV. You could also schedule interviews with the people in the career school career team. So I actually did like mock interviews with some people, and then they like graded me and judged me and did all of those things, told me how I could improve. So I'm sure that your school has that. If you check, they should have, and just like maximize it to fullest because you're actually paying for it. You're paying how much money?
You are. You're paying in pounds.
So yes, they would help you work on it, and they're actually they're there because of you.
Yes.
Do you understand? If you don't reach out to them, they don't have work.
They don't have jobs.
They'll
stand them.
Exactly. So they actually did help me. I remember doing mock interviews, and then they told me, oh, I should probably do this. Or the way I introduce myself could have been better. I shouldn't talk too long in the intro, things like that. So yeah, that's what I did. Then what else did I do? A cover letter template, and you don't want to every time you want to apply for a job and not thinking of cover letter, you need to have that template, as she already said, somewhere saved and written to the best. All you need to do is just, and you're not going to be sending something generic, or you need to include because I have, if you check my cover letter template, it has like XXX, which stands for where I'm going to put like the company names, so it doesn't look like it's just copy and paste for like different companies. I mean, it's copy and paste, but I'm including their names to make it like much more personalized. Does that make sense?
On templates, there's this hack I use. There is no interview you do in the world, I think, regardless of the role, where you wouldn't be asked, tell me about yourself. I dislike having to think about that question because I've sent you my CV. Why? But of course, it's like a standard interview question. They would always ask you that. So what I did was I used Notion. So on my Notion, I had this tab called interview prep, and then I had like different companies I interviewed to, and then I had like a standard template for tell me about yourself.
Yeah.
I've sent it to you before, of course, right? So it's like 2 pages long. I have like a paragraph about myself. I have a paragraph about the companies I've worked for. Sometimes I even include my strengths and weaknesses. So there's nothing you want to ask me in an interview that is not within that template.
Apart from Notion, I think what you also did was even include like possible likely questions.
I would also include possible likely questions that the company would ask. I would also answer them within the Notion. So I was hardly ever nervous in interviews, right? I was always prepared. Like you couldn't catch me.
I was prepared, but I was also nervous because it's just
you'd be nervous. But once you start talking, it goes away.
Because you're prepared.
Because you are prepared. Of course, you definitely be nervous before you go in. But as soon as you start talking, because you are prepared, it gets better.
Yeah.
So having that template. And okay, you just continue.
Yeah. So after that, I was always like sending out my CVs, getting rejected, getting rejected left, right. I'm going to fill my screen right now.
I delete some of them.
It was crazy. I still have them because I knew that I was going to do this video one day. And I was going to, if I have a video of me crying. I remember a video, I cried. I had that, but I can't put it because it's too. Big Face sent me £20 for ice cream after I cried because I had cried, but I was so sure that I was going to actually like move to the next stage and all of that. I never.
Was it that one? Told you that you not know much about it. Was it that one?
I can't remember. So many say you would. 500 rejections. I mean, it might not be that much, but actually,
if you are applying, like if you are actively, I think I was a bit lazy in my approach to applying. But if you are really like proactive, if you are really proactive with it, like if you're applying every day, be prepared for more than that.
Yeah, actually,
like, you get
you can mix my approach and our approach because I also sent out cold emails as well, and it's a game of numbers, to be honest.
Yes.
So you really to throw your cards out and anyone that works, to be honest. So that's how we prepared. So just to give you guys this story, we're going to talk about interviewing prep and networking prep and all of that in the next video. So just stay tuned. I'm just going to give you guys my story of how I got like my job in 2 hours. Right. So I get this mail from now my manager, right? But then recruiter like she sent out an email asking that they see my blah 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 CV.
As a star girl that you are.
Do I want to move on to the next stage?
As a star girl that she is.
And then I sent a response saying, oh yeah, something. I think I chose a particular date. Apparently, they probably didn't get it or something. So I don't even know. I just forgot about it. And then on the Friday, the recruiter and my manager reached out to me again, saying, oh, I sent you a message, I'm not sure you responded, would you still be interested, or would you just like me to go or with someone else? And I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, I actually responded. I don't know what happened. Maybe I don't know where the message, the devil was at work.
Your village people were working overtime.
Yeah, so that was what happened. So there and then, like that particular day, I think it was like in the morning, then around 11 a.m. she scheduled the very first call. There were 3 stages, or there ought to be 3 stages actually. Is that English correct? There ought to be 3 stages.
No,
she studied English, but I don't remember biology. I don't care.
That was my first degree.
So I did the interview and it was good. Now you might look at it and say, okay, maybe they're probably looking for someone desperately, blah blah blah. I beg to disagree, because on getting into the company that actually interviewed like previously for the same role. So in case you want to say that maybe they don't have interview skills,
tell them that you are good at what you do.
No, aside that, I'm just saying because some might think that how come you like how do people get jobs that fast? But I think once I don't know, probably
the stars aligned in your favor.
Yeah, and I mean, if I didn't do the interview right, they would have told me.
Yes,
that's what I know. So I shall had the very first call. I think 30 minutes. And then she was like, oh, okay, she would like to move me to the next stage. That would I be available next week? I'm like, oh, I'm going for my wedding. That was like, I think the week of, oh yeah, I actually I got this job the day that I traveled to Nigeria for my wedding.
God was like, this is going to be a wedding gift, a pre-wedding gift.
Yeah, actually. And then I'm like, oh, I'm traveling and blah blah blah. I won't be able to do this interview until I'm back. And she was like, oh, okay, can I do it now? And then she schedules like a call with the next person that's supposed to meet. And yeah, I think because they say I mentioned I was trapped, that's why they shortened it, because I ended up having just 2 interviews. And then I got on the conversation with the second manager, and then asking me like culture fit questions and all of those things. I think basically I probably passed the vibe check. But again, what I'm trying to say is I'm not trying to blow my horn or things like that. But if we didn't do all of these things that we just listed, like we won't be here doing this video,
right?
Like we'll still be in the market. I mean, I'm not saying that anyway, but we'll still be like actively searching. I don't know if that makes sense. So yeah,
I think one of the points that what you just said just reminded me of is you need to know your stuff, right? You need to be ready to talk about what it is that you want to get that job. You need to be ready to talk about it on the spot. Like just imagine like you were scheduling for an interview on the fly, and you're able to do so well.
Yeah,
right. I mean, that was one of the things you said, that you interviewed so much that you knew what
so
was.
Ask them. When you work, one of my friends, literally, anytime she calls me, I'll just say I'm in an interview. I'll call you back every time. Like I actually, let
me did a lot of interviews. So that's why she was able to get on an interview on the fly and do so well that she was hired on the spot.
Yeah.
One of the things I do, because of course I was schooling full time and I'd not been working because of
the workload was too much. You cannot work.
So when you're not doing the work, right, you kind of forget some things. Maybe you're not active. When you're not actively in the job, interview might not come so easy. Right? But, it's a different case when this is what you're doing day to day, and then you have to interview about it. It comes easier than when you're doing something else and you have to, right? So one of the things because I didn't interview as much, like I was very lazy with it, but one of the things I did to ensure that I was always ready to talk about what I know and what I do was night to the interview, I can literally stay up all night. I'm reading stuff on the internet, I'm watching YouTube videos, and like I said, I'm a product manager, so I would go on Twitter and then I would read threads of like product experts on Twitter, people I look up. I would literally go on Twitter and like if you're a product person, you know people like Shreyas, you know people like Salem. I myself had done like this 100 days of PM lessons where I wrote threads about product management. So I would go over all of these and like digest them, and like I said, I would have like possible questions that they could ask product related, and then I would start answering them to like prepare myself for the interview. Right.
Yeah. So we've come to the end of this video, and like I said, it wasn't a clickbait. I actually
got a job in 2 hours. Bruh.
But this is all that we did. So in the next video, we're going to talk about like interviewing and networking. So you want to stay tuned. We're going to like give you guys the tips of what we did and how we're able to scale. I'm sorry that this video it could have felt like it was everywhere. But if you listen to this point, you're an OG and you deserve a cup of Coke.
Don't forget to subscribe, leave a comment if you have any questions, and she will also be leaving my social media handles. If you're a product person, if you're in tech, if you want to get a job in the UK, please send me a message and let's chat. I'm always available to help.
Yeah. Alright, so I've come to the end of this video. I'll see you guys in my next video. You don't want to miss it.
Bye.
So you should go and watch it. Bye.